Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxchair, on the show this evening. It's Bridgeman, GB and Port Bear. Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Ox.
Can I just say a big good evening to you guys, particularly yourself, Foxchair, and your technical team. Big good evening to Port Bear and GB. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, Bridge?
I'm doing a lot better now. Getting over all the hurdles. Maybe one other hurdle will smack me in the face tomorrow. You never know.
Yes.
Getting over the hurdles.
That's the thing about the hurdles, isn't it?
Oh, murder for us. Sore as well. Sore.
How are you, Port?
Very well, mate. Very well. Good. Aye. Yourself?
Aye, top.
Soup. Yep.
GB, young GB.
Great, Ox. Sun's out, guns out, mate. So I'm quite a happy man this afternoon.
Oh dear.
All right, Arnie, calm down.
I'll be back. Just pencil, Port Bear.
Oh, brilliant.
Just glad to be on, lads. I really look forward to the show after the brilliant week of Rangers.
Aye, it was a special week. A bit of history made, lads. A bit of history made. On Tuesday evening, I know people say it's little, a bit of history. Bridgeman bought around. So, Port Bear.
I don't believe that for a minute, mate.
No, we done something on Tuesday night that we've never done in my European history. So it was a tremendous result, Port Bear.
Aye, taking back to a 2-0 deficit, mate, was absolutely incredible. A European tie. Like a lot of people, not a lot of people knew a lot about this team. And I only knew because I scouted them, obviously for the show and stuff, and realised they were a decent team. And after the first leg over there, and they took us apart. If I'm brutally honest, mate, and we got out of there luckily.
Did they tear us apart, or were we awful, mate?
A bit of both, I think, mate. I think they were very good. I thought they cut us open with ease, but obviously we played part in that. But as I said, we mentioned on the show, they could have scored 4 or 5 just so we're lucky to get out there, with 2.
Aye, okay. Bit of history, GB. Special night, yeah.
Yep, that's what the Rangers do, Ox. We make history. I mean, European football's not for every team in Scotland, but certainly as for the Rangers, we making record breaking and like I say, coming back for a 2-0 deficit in a Champions League qualifier is no mean feat, mate. Brilliant.
Aye, I see Tony Watt made a bit of history. They're going about a goal he scored. That's 2 games he's played in Europe. The team he's playing for has lost 7 goals. I'll not mention the teams, you can work out yourselves.
That's a lot of goals to lose in Europe, isn't it? A lot. There was only 2 other teams, I think, that did that. And both of them were of a certain persuasion. So your Hibs and that mob across the city. So the 3 mob with a certain persuasion all lost 7 goals in Europe together. Amazing. That tickled me when I found that one.
Aye. Well, I don't know. One day we'll debate it because Scottish football just, I don't know, just hating itself to death. The coaching, the attitude, everything's wrong, isn't it? Port Bear.
Indeed, mate. When you see, the quality of our team in Europe, and what we play against every week in Scotland. Defies belief sometimes because we, there'll be these teams set up in these low blocks against us, and they've no ambition. I mean, if I'm honest, Oxford, I'm managing any of these teams in Scotland, I'd rather go and get beat 2 or 3 or 4-0 and say my boys tried and they did it all and they laid it on the line and had a good few chances than I sat back and had 1 or 2 chances a game and sat back and time wasted and my goalkeeper was falling over the place and holding on to the ball, etc. The game's killing it still, Oxford, in this country.
Aye, and where's it getting them? What's it actually achieving, Bridge, instead of going out and trying to play a game of football? Because this is in the league tie. This is happening in the league games. Yeah. There's no cup ties where you'll get a chance of penalty kicks and a fluke result or whatever. It's a league game where it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Well, we know how we feel about these things. It's there's a lot of teams with a lot of different players of a certain persuasion, and the hatred within all of these teams, and it's throughout all the leagues in this country, is just immense. And they've got this movement. They just hate us and hate themselves and hate the whole of Scottish football, and they're just hating themselves to death. And that's what's happening. You're absolutely right with that. That's what's happening. And we just need to carry on and doing what we're doing. And we've got some of that side on our playing staff, and we're no problems with it at all. None at all. So we're quite happy, and we'll go on along and win the games whenever we can.
But GB, it's a spectacle, as a brand. You've seen some of the details being leaked about the commercial deal with the TV. It's a worse deal than the last one. So we can't sell the game. We're underselling the game. But the product, we'll go to St Johnstone, who we're playing tomorrow. We'll go to their place. There'll be about 30% of the seats will be empty because their fans will not take their seats. We'll get fans clamouring for them. The product looks better than a full stadium. They get more revenue to help them get better players. Everything's positive about it, and you market the game better. But no, we want to get the cameras piling on empty seats, and it doesn't look good.
And then you have people up arms about, like you say, Zox, about the offer on the table for a TV deal. Again, you're talking about spectacle. If Alexa St Johnstone just came out and made a game of it, it would promote the Scottish game better. And to be honest, look at the European results, Ox. I mean, a team's not getting scalped 7-0 for no reason. It's just because they don't know how to handle their kind of nights. But yet, see if they actually came out and played against the likes of Rangers or a Celtic, then there would be improvement there. There would be learnings for it. I mean, players would maybe get better at handling the big occasion and stuff like that. So it would help the full advertisement of your game. And it's just very, very silly, especially when like you said, you touched on that fans are now refusing to come to the game because of ticket prices and stuff like that. Well, on their head be it, because I'll tell you something, if they end up into that championship, then it's a long way back for them, especially with no revenue.
Aye, okay. So we play St Johnstone tomorrow, and I think it's only right we hear from our gaffer before we get the show rolling. Is that all right? See if we can pick any snippets, Port, who's going to be playing or whatever, yeah?
Aye, let's go for it, mate, yep.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
Our gaffer, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
It's on to St Johnstone, and a big win for them at Motherwell last week, getting the goal in injury time. Surely going to be a big confidence boost for them, but I guess probably a similar test from Kilmarnock to come this weekend.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an home game. Of course, we saw also last week against Kilmarnock. We had a
Oh, we seem to have lost it. Right, okay, we're back, lads.
Yes,
Yep, all here.
I'm sure we'll get that. I'm sure we'll get that sorted. A wee hiccup. You just, I don't know. You just can't get the staff, Port.
These wee internet gremlins, mate. Internet gremlins.
Just brilliant.
It's that sunshine, Ox. It's getting to the heats now. That's what it is.
Anyway, I'm sure we'll hear the rest of Giovanni in a minute. But look, it's a big game, and are you expecting MGB to come and park the bus, or are you expecting an open game of football? This is becoming predictable now. What's your thoughts?
At Rangers at home, Ox, I predict it's going to be the same old. It's going to be a team sitting back, waiting to hit us on the break at some point. And on that, looking at their team this season, there is still quite a few players there that can hurt us, so we'll need to be obviously switched on. But It is a shame. Probably the game during the weeks has probably done us a big favour because it's teed us up for St Johnstone the way they're going to probably play tactically. But for the fans, let's just hope that we can break it down quickly as possible and get a couple of goals and put on a performance again.
All right, we've got Giovanni back now. Get yourselves some mute, lads, and let's hear for Giovanni.
Well, it's on to St Johnstone and a big win for them at Motherwell last week, getting the goal in injury time. Surely going to be a big confidence boost for them, but I guess probably a similar test from Kilmarnock to come this weekend.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an home game. Of course, we saw also last week against Kilmarnock. We had a game where we see a team like defending in a low block. Not many spaces for us to play in, but I think we approached the game really well. With a lot of patience as well. Sometimes you need patience in those games, and for us, it's another league game. We want to win every game we play, and we want to maintain our 100% record.
What's the key factor for your team when you come up against a low block? What do you need to do?
Well, we need to, like I always say, we need to have our positions right on the pitch, and the movement needs to be there at the right time. The speed of passing needs to be high. Otherwise, you won't find any space. But we're improving in those apartments every game because we play more games together. The players get used to each other, and it's all getting stronger and stronger each week and each game we play.
Joining your team this week has been Kerry Bowley from Manchester City. What will he bring to the club?
Well, he will. I've worked with Raleigh with Kerry a couple of years ago. Built up a good relationship with him, and I'm happy that he's joining my staff and helping me and helping all of us to improve our players. And so the players will work also closely with him to make sure their development goes faster. And we can identify all the areas we want to see improvement. And so I'm really happy that he joined us.
Do you feel, obviously adding Kerry, the staff that you brought in, the staff that were already here, that you've got the elite environment that you've always wanted, what the club wants to really drive this place forward now?
Yeah, we want to. I mean, of course, we came in with quite a new members of the staff when we joined in November, and Kerry joins us at this moment. But we're still one team. We're working hard, everyone in this department, to get the best results on the pitch in the weekend and during the week. And that's we just have to work together. It's all the key to have a good communication, work together, and towards the goal we all have is to bring success to the club.
And lastly, on St Johnstone, how's the squad looking ahead of Saturday's game?
Yeah, we're doing well, and we're doing well. We have a lot of players back now. We have a big squad to choose our squad and choose our 11. So we just have after the last training, we'll see who's going to start and the best game plan we need for playing against St Johnstone at home.
Okay, thanks for that. Fox Old School Blue. No real clues about who's going to be playing tomorrow, but Portbear, he's expecting the same kind of game as GB's predicted.
Aye, GB and yourselves got it bang on, mate. I think, unfortunately, the Scottish game's becoming a predictable, style of football next year that feels for them either side it. Get. I think this is one of the reasons that the sort of deals that you spoke about during the week, these sort of TV deals we're getting, because it's not a sellable asset next year. There's no market for football to watch empty stadiums, to watch a team that just sit back and waste time. They spoke about the 90 minutes. I heard something on a podcast during the week regarding time and balls in play, and they reckon maybe 65 minutes that ball can be in play for, because it's obviously the rest of the time it's out of play or there's been time wasting, etc. Keeper holding on to it, failing injury, etc., etc. Who wants to watch it next year? There's nobody wants to watch it, mate. None of these teams are forward thinking, and this is how they're in the state they're in, mate.
Good shout. Bridgeman, it's a game of football. You can win or lose. Excuse me. You can win, lose or draw. What does it get them? What did it get Kilmarnock? They ultimately lost 2-0 last week, yeah?
Yeah, the only thing that they're doing is, see that score last night, it shows that score last night, it probably wasn't unusual. Really and truly, we should have beaten Kilmarnock by at least that score, I would suggest. So that's, and most teams with the same company, Ibrox, they're going to sit in with a 9-man defence, 10-man defence sometimes. So I think that's what it gets them nowhere. But your answer to your question, it gets them nowhere. There's Kilmarnock walked away with absolutely zilch, nothing. They've lost. I think they've lost their 2 games, and you know what for? Why all that? Why all the hassle? Why didn't we just come out and play a game of football? And okay, letting a better team win, but their manager and the coaching staff didn't like it at all. So that's what you get, and that's what they all get. I know the antics they come up with, with their pitches. Don't water the pitch. Don't make it good for Rangers, particularly Rangers. I say this in all honesty, particularly Rangers. So whatever they can do to sort of lessen Rangers' impact in the game, that's what they'll do. Kilmarnock knew they were in for a doing, and that's the truth.
Okay, but GB, what would you do if you were the manager of one of these clubs? Would you get open up and you beat 6 or 7-0, or would you do what they're doing? Honestly,
I would probably do what they're doing, Ox, in a sense, because these guys as well are trying to protect their job. A heavy defeat, and then maybe the following week they get defeated off somebody that's kind of the same level as them. The pressure mounts on them as well. So, I mean, you've seen it down in the Premier League with Sam Allardyce and stuff like that. It kind of, his way of playing is similar to what the teams are doing against us. And the only reason he doesn't get a hired up job is because of the style of football he plays. So I can totally understand that like say Callum Davison's got to sit in tomorrow and hopefully hit in the break and sneak 3 points, because that 3 points is obviously vital for them. But I mean, there comes a time, like I says, you want to try and progress the club, and that obviously comes with investment and stuff like that.
But there's a theory, Rox, here though. If you put a better product on the park, if you're a more forward-thinking manager and try and put a plan in place as a manager to take your club from this 5-4-1 setup that seems to be the fashionable setup outside Old Firm and Scottish football, how can you plan forward, and how's that suffer? Your youth players, Oxford, your players in your B team, their development suffer, and this is what's killing all these teams from the first team down to under 18s and 16s, whatever. It's killing the whole lot.
You've got it, Paul. That's what's happening. Bad coaching, bad management, and that's how we're not getting anywhere as a nation, and nationally, really, if we're honest. And also, anybody else is doing anything in Europe. Nobody.
And we're managers, mate. We're managers, aren't they? Worth nothing. They're not getting. I remember there was a time of Scottish managers were going down to the Premiership, and they were highly sought after and thought of. And who have we got in Scotland that you can nail a manager that you would say, right, I think that boy's going to develop maybe 10 years' time or 5 years' time? There's none Ox here because they're not forward thinking.
Fair shout, mate. You've hit the nail on the head, I think. Right, because you've hit the nail on the head, you maybe hear what the Ports report is.
Hello and welcome to Ports Report. The games keep coming, fresh off the back of the Champions League turnaround. Rangers now host St Johnstone. St Johnstone narrowly escaped the relegation last season. The Saints have 1 defeat and 1 win so far this season. This was due to Stevie May's last gasp winner away to Motherwell. St Johnstone will now come to Ibrox, hoping to disrupt Rangers' perfect start to the season. St Johnstone will set up in their very defensive low block, looking to frustrate Rangers and deny any space in and around their box. Ryan Jack, Glenn Kamara and Scott Wright could all return to the starting 11 and give GVB time to utilise his squad ahead of next week's Champions League match versus PSV Eindhoven. Callum Davison praised Rangers' squad, and he said it's now up to them to make the game difficult as possible for Rangers. Rangers will have the majority of possession, and St Johnstone will make sure they get back in their 3-5-2 formation and a low block to make it difficult for Rangers. St Johnstone have only won 3 of their last 16 away games. These were against Aberdeen, Dundee United and Livingston. Liam Gordon has returned and Ali Crawford is now fully fit, leaving only Murray Davidson on the injury list. Canadian international Theo Blair could be handed his third start up front ahead of Stevie May, although Graham Carey and former Rangers man Jamie Murphy will provide support in St Johnstone's attack. Rangers will have to be patient, play with a high tempo, moving the ball with pace. This will allow Rangers to play through their stubborn low block and get the victory against St Johnstone. And that's the end of Port's report.
Well done, Port Bear.
Do you think?
Right.
GB, there's a common thread. Everybody's saying it. Everybody. Low block, 5, 9, 10 men behind the ball. And we've just discussed it. Even in the Legends Port report, it's mentioned. We'll make life difficult for Rangers. That tells me slow the game down, take as much time with throw-ins and set pieces as possible, and waste time for the first minute. That's what he means by that. GB.
100%, Ox. I mean, imagine saying that in your presser. We're just got to go out and make it difficult for Rangers. Why not go out in your presser and say we've got to go and have a go and try and get some points out of this game? I mean, that's a total negative attitude right away. And that's coming with that will be feigning injury and all the rest of it, and obviously trying to noise up our players. But it's got to be another tough test for Rangers. But as the manager's stated in his presser there, that the team are getting stronger and stronger. They're getting a better understanding of how to break these teams down. And what it says, that team from the other night, one way that continue, that kind of attacking threat that we've got. I was really enjoying it.
Okay, gentlemen, if it's all right with you three, we'll get the phone lines open, yeah?
Yep, let's fire away.
Go for it.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, right, okay. The big debate will be this now is what your team's going to be. What do you do? Do you give players more minutes? Do you take people out the fire line? Do you try and build momentum? Bridgeman, it's a puzzler.
Well, the manager's not got an easy task here because he's got a lot of guys who are needing that extra few minutes in their legs. Big game got to come up on Tuesday. It's sometimes a sticker twist as he brings Stephen Davis back in, who had a fantastic game. Just as 2 games ago, fantastic game. So people like that they need to play, and we need to relieve the pressure on the other players as well. At the same time, just for saying, I'll give an example. What do you do with Alfredo Morelos? Do you leave him off for the first half, or do you bring him on and see if he can get 90 minutes in his legs? It's a real quandary, and when it comes to that, however, he knows his players. That team that played on Tuesday night is still available, and they could be either let loose on Saturday to do the business, or indeed change them and leave them wrapped up in the cotton wool, and maybe somewhere in between. And that's what I think he'll do. I think he'll mix and match. And some of the guys that are, shall we say, on the fringe, some of the guys that come on after 60 minutes, maybe get a start, see how they go on, and the ones that play 60 minutes, they'll be sitting in the benches watching. That's what I think might happen. So I think the manager will pick a team and let them go out there and set about this mob.
I don't think Morelos looks anywhere near 90 minutes fit. Port Bear?
In regards to Morelos and Čolak, mate, I think at the moment it's Čolak's jersey to lose. I really think that, mate. I think Morelos is behind him at the moment in fitness, and I think Čolak played decent. He's got goals. He's done his job while Morelos has not been available, mate. So I think until Morelos gets fit and wins his place back in the team, it's Čolak's to lose. But I think Giovanni's got a decision to make in regards to the game against PSV the game weekend. Does he, as you said, does he keep continuity and keep the same squad, just let it keep rolling, or does he try and get more players into the squad with one eye on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the tie is, to basically get more minutes and more legs, because it's going to be a 14 or 15 man squad again for the European tie. That's the way it's going to prove throughout the season next year. So I think the more we get fit and the more we get a better understanding playing with each other, as me and Gary witnessed against Union, the forward thinking playing and the way they played that night was outstanding, and that's what we want to see more of that from more of our players.
All right, I think Ben Davies and Ridvan will start tomorrow, GB.
I'm with you in that thinking, Ox. I think another set to start tomorrow is probably the boy Tillman, just purely because of getting more minutes into him, getting him up to speed. I think he'll be another one. I like the thought of Davies, coming into the team. That helps get a better understanding with Goldson, gets a left-sided central defender into the team. Again, no harm to Sands. He's doing a job for us. He's been versatile for us in that position now, but I would certainly try and get Davies up to speed. It'll give a better balance to the back four. And then Ridvan, I seen in the training video today, boy looks pacey and fast, looks as though he can nip in behind as well. So it could be the perfect game for him, especially when we're trying to break a low block. Whereas Borner's a wee bit more, what's the word, cagey, if you know what I mean. But Ridvan looks as though they'd be the perfect player for the Mora, especially with the attacking options.
It'd be interesting. Who starts? Port, I think Ridvan will start. I think Davies will start. Goldson and Dab will start. They just start, didn't they?
Aye, definitely. I mean, in Ridvan and Davies, you've got £10 million worth of investment there next year. They've got to play. We need to get them fit. We bought these types of players with a bigger profile and better quality for the Champions League, mate. So we need to get them fit. That's just the end of the matter for me. And in my opinion, Davies is your first choice left centre back, and Ridvan's going to be our first choice left back. It's £10 million.
We've been joined by Jim. Evening, Jim.
Good evening, Oxshire. How are you?
Good, mate. How's things?
Things here are okay. How's things with you?
Yes, all right, mate. All right, apart from the three I've got with me tonight, they're not very bright. Jim, help me out.
Well, I'll help you out. The only reason I rang is because I wanted to support the Port support.
Wee fan club.
Us ex-Port and Port people should stick together, you know what I mean?
I agree, mate. I agree.
So how much did they pay you to phone up, Jim?
Well, I'll tell you what, it wasn't enough.
He's doing a good job, eh? He's giving us an insight in the opposition, something we don't do. He's doing a grand job.
Yeah, I think he did quite a good job there. I think he actually portrayed everything which we'd expect to happen on Saturday, But you never know, and we've always been proved wrong because even Gerard and Gio have come up with different solutions at different times and different personnel. And of course, it's his call, and he sees people every day in training. And we make assumptions, and we don't know exactly what's happening as much as he does.
Jim, you're a football man. Do you think a team gets picked in training or picked in performances?
Both.
Port Bear.
I think performance, Oxshire. I think performance. Training. When I train, you train takes after itself during the week. You work. That's your job. You do that 5 days, 6 days a week. But your performance kept you the team.
Bridge, man, you used to carry the cones, the bibs, and everything. The boys were trying to get on the good side of it. It never worked, did it?
No. You're not just overlooked, don't you?
Would you think training a performance, Bridge?
Oh, Jings, Actually, I'm sort of 50-50 on that. I think it's a bit of both. I think it's the training and the performance, if you follow what I mean, I think the guys have got to train, and they've got to be seen to be training and do the job. But some of the players just might not be fit enough to do a full training. And they wants to play them. And that might be a Morelos type situation, where he's only going to get 20 minutes or half an hour, where and when, that kind of thing.
Aye, interesting. Jim, what would you do tomorrow? What would the Rangers team be for you?
And I would rather we did really well in the league, because we missed it last year. We missed it. I mean, they're talking about 40 million. And I know that a lot of people were saying, no, let's get to, the Europa final, and that's where it all is, and the league doesn't matter so much. But to me, I think everything's important. The league is important, and so is Europa. And now we're Champions League. That's one of them. I'd say that's probably, at the moment, the Champions League is the most important thing. As far as the league goes, I think that we will play a team which will have players that played recently and players who haven't. Well, the combination, and when things need to be changed up, changes need to be made, Gio, just like Gerrard, will do it.
All right, okay. What's your thoughts on Giovanni, Jim?
Well, Gio played for us. He knows what it's about. He's not somebody that's coming in from the outskirts because he's a great manager from elsewhere. He's here because he knows the club and he knows what the club's all about, and that's very, very important. And you can see that, by the way. We didn't do so well a week ago, but this week we did so well, and that's Gio. Gio's turned that around. He's done that. He's instilled in the players that played this week that we need what we need, and he's done that. So that's what I think about Gio. I think Gio is the type of person who knows what's expected of Gio. He also knows what's expected from the fans and the people above him, the chairman, and the people that pay his wages. He knows what's expected. So I believe that Gio, at this time and place, is the man for the job. He hasn't done anything wrong yet. He hasn't made any bad decisions in my point of view. Others may have said that some team selections were maybe not what they should have been, but Gio, I think that Gio is making decisions on what he wants to see, so that he can make future decisions. I think he's a planner. I think he's planning ahead. I think he's looking at the future, and he's here for the long term until Barcelona come in.
Okay, all right. GB.
Jimmy, making good points there. I've probably been eating a wee bit of humble pie since the start of the season with Gio, because I kind of questioned it. After the Livingston game, I was questioning him right away, just purely on the back of last season, the way the league form went. It was worrying to see his kind of struggle against Livingston, but granted, after that game, you analyse it and you understand that you're playing in a horrible pitch, you're playing against a team that's sitting in, and they had a lucky break of the ball really for their goal. And then obviously you move into the European side again. I was questioning him with that performance, asking him, has he really got an understanding of what we're expected this season? And then he totally blew me away on Tuesday night, because that performance that the team put in is exactly what I was expecting of the team for the start of the season, especially with the wee kind of cameos we've seen against West Ham and stuff like that in pre-season. For me, Gio is...
Obviously, Stevie G bought a squad for nothing. Gio's come in, he started players out, players in. Some big money out, no so big in, but have we improved the quality overall, mate? Have we got a better squad now?
I think we have... definitely. We've got a better squad, but not so much a better squad. You have to remember that when a new manager comes in, he wants to have his own personnel. He wants to have people that are going to play the type of football he wants in every position. Now, Steven Gerrard has set us off in a great path, and Gio is taking us on that second gear level that you like to talk about. So what I would say is that we're on course now to progress and get better. The only thing that will stop us not getting better is the hurdles, the bumps in the roads, like playing against St Johnstone and getting beat. Now, I can't see that happening tomorrow, but these things do happen, you know. But I think Gio he's got a mentality of what Rangers is about. And apart from being a winner in any football game as a manager, he's into the club, he knows the score, he's getting paid good money, and he wants to do the best for Rangers. Like all the players we want to see doing their best for the Rangers, he, more than anybody, I think, wants Rangers to progress. And that's why I think Gio is the right man for the job.
Rich?
Yeah, I have to agree there. I think Gio is the right man for the job at the moment, and I don't see any problem with him. I think he's given everything. His knowledge of the Scottish game is picking up quickly, you know. Apart from the game across there over in Belgium we went to. So that apart from that game, we've looked quite good. And he's starting to build and bed in the new players. And I think he's starting to get it right. And I'm obviously we all wish him well and hope that he does it. But another victory tomorrow at Ibrox is a must on the road. So if we get that, then that'll cement things that he's been trying to do in his mind, you know. I think he's a superb selection for a manager, because I'd absolutely loved Steven Gerrard as our manager. I thought he was a breath of fresh air at Ibrox, and now Gio's come in and showed he can pick up, and he's going high. You know, I think he's a tremendous selection, and I just hope everybody else thinks so, and gives the guy the chance to do it.
Okay, Port Bear.
Indeed, mate. I think, you know, Gio's come in and he's slowly but surely, you know, building this team. I think he's trying to get a mythology and put it into the club, his blueprint on his style of football, how he wants your team to set up, how he wants our attackers to play with wingers, with wing backs. We're playing a lot, in my opinion, they're playing a lot higher again. I guess I'll sometimes think we're still playing with the handbrake on, mate. I think we could let handbrake off a lot more. But I've also seen John Lundstrom developing further under Gio, mate, in a sense where not only is he becoming an enforcer, mate, I'm enjoying his style, you know, his play, you know, the way he's closing down midfielders. I mean, we watched that match during the week here, me and Gary, and their danger man, the captain, Timu, he marked him out the game, mate. Didn't give him a sniff. Every time he had the ball, he was snapping into challenges. That's something I didn't really see for John Lundstrom before either. His understanding, development under Gio is improving greatly, and I think that you're starting to see that with other players throughout the system. I've seen an improvement in Borna. I'm sure Ridvan will improve under him, another left back. So I think as well, he's been a good coach, mate. He seems to be a good man-to-man manager, and he's good at developing players. And he's also added Kerry Bowley now from the Man City group to his backroom staff. And he said that he heard this in his interview. He said that's to enhance and speed up the process of the understanding his methodology, how he wants his football to be played, and also to bring on the players quicker. So I'm happy with it, for me. I think he's, like Jim touched on, he's got a plan. He's got a plan, and I'm happy with
it. I think he's come in. He's not been ways a year. GB, it's hard to believe, isn't it? There's a lot happened, but he seems to be slowly making his mark. Yeah.
Yep, he's had a lot to deal with, and like I says, we're a demanding bunch. I mean, we demand success right away. But like I says, I think now hopefully we're starting to just see the quality come through. The like you say, the plan in place. Port's touched on there about the boy Kerry coming in, the Kerry Bowley. He's came for the City group. I mean, that's getting coaches for that quality and amongst these kind of consortiums. It's brilliant. I mean, this guy's got to bring umpteen amount of knowledge to our players to help develop them in maybe in certain areas, i.e. shooting from outside the box, quality passing, tactics, etc., etc. That's one thing I have liked about Gio. The personnel that he's brought in have came from quality places, i.e. Ajax, and obviously the City group, and then obviously we've had the ex-striker. He's came from like experience of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid.
Big Mackay, yeah.
Big Mackay, sorry, I couldn't remember his name. Big Mackay. I mean, again, a guy well for experience there, and plus he's a striker, so he can coach the striking options as well. It's great. It's what it says. The quality's went through the roof.
I don't think he takes any nonsense, Port, does he?
No, he doesn't. I've seen some training videos, mate. No, he does not. And one thing to add to the coaching staff, Oxford, in managerial terms, it's a young coaching staff. I mean, they're obviously young, dynamic, forward-thinking managers and coaching staff, first-team coaches, analysts. He's got everything that you need to succeed as a first-team coach, stroke manager, Oxford. And I think it's great that, again, Ross Wilson has to take some credit for this as well, mate, because he, along with Gio, had an agreement that if Gio wanted another coach in, like Kerry Bowley, they would be brought in, at a later date if needed. But they've tried to work with what they had, and obviously Gio feels they need another strength in his blow, mate, and this guy's going to help the development of players in a system and also individually, which can only benefit a club, mate.
Okay, all right. Jim, tomorrow's game. It's 3 points is all it's at stake, but if we win tomorrow and we can get a good performance on the back of Tuesday, score a few goals, build up the confidence, it's slowly becoming a decent start to the season, eh?
I can't disagree.
Slowly. I mean, we know we weren't great against Livingston, we were a bit better against Kilmarnock, but slowly but surely we've played bits and starts. The result on Tuesday was great, and now if we can go and get a performance tomorrow, it's starting to set us up, mate. Eh? What are you thinking on the new? What are you thinking on the new players that's come in so far? Tillman, Lawrence, etc.
I think that what we've got now is a progression of confidence of players playing together, about confidence from the fans, confidence from the player and the manager. I think we've got a confidence starting to build. And once we've got that building, then we set a momentum. And that momentum is going to carry us through the rest of the season. Our biggest... and the other thing is Tillman, yes. Lawrence, yes. Matondo, yes. These players, new players, they've come in and they haven't gelled as well as you might expect to happen. But as far as I'm concerned, I feel they have gelled. And it won't be long if they keep playing without injuries in the same positions, in the same way they play, and because of the way they train every day. I believe that we will have the upper hand this year. And I think that those players that you've mentioned, and not only that, I think the centre forward, Kolak, I think we're in for a surprise. I think he's been a little bit of a slow starter for a lot of people, but the guy hasn't had the service. He hasn't had the service that a centre forward really needs. I remember going to my very first game at Ibrox when Colin Steen signed from Hibs, and he scored a hat-trick in his first game. He scored a hat-trick in his second game. And in his third game, he scored a double. And that man scored in the European Cup Winners' Cup final. So
do you know what Willie Johnson says to him?
What?
What did you do after the third game?
Yeah, well, I've seen Willie Johnston. I went to see Willie Johnston. I seen Willie Johnston playing for Rangers against Morton in Greenock, near where Port Bear lives, and myself. And Willie Johnston was a winner. And he ran down a wing and beat this guy. And he went across the ball. And the Morton fullback stopped him from crossing the ball and took the ball off him and went to run up the park and kicked it. Much to his demise, Willie Johnston ran up behind him and kicked him up the arse.
Oh, I remember that incident. Anyway, we've been joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star. Blue Star, see when you phone in, let it ring, speak to the boys in the reception, they'll sort you out. They nearly missed your call there, mate. Carry on, mate. Floor's yours.
Evening, Ox. Evening, rest of the panel. Ox, the reason I didn't let it ring, I always thought you'd just let it ring a couple of times, you know. That was how I didn't let it ring.
Things have changed. The boy will get a receptionist in place now, Blue Star. Things have moved on a bit.
Bother. Ox, it was on your wee ditty there when you said, do you think the team's picked on performance or training? We all know that every manager, up until Gio, because I've not really heard Gio saying it's on performance, but every other manager tells you straight, the guy that's present in the jersey, if he puts on a performance, then they keep the jersey. On Gio's case, that's certainly not the case. No, I'm not knocking before you think what I would say about Gio compared to our last few managers, the guy's far, far more a tactician. For that, I mean, take our last league game at Ibrox. Wee Davis in the middle of the park was absolutely exceptional. He wasn't even considered for the European game. Therefore, it's horses for courses, and it's depending on what kind of style of football the opposing team picks for Gio. I.e., he started with Tillman in the wing. It was a it was a non-event for Tillman in the first half. He done nothing out in the right. As soon as he moved him inside, the wee guy started playing well in the second half. So what I'm saying is, the likes of the Mora, when you mentioned you thought the likes of Davis, Ox, and what do you call him, would be playing the wee Turk, I agree with you, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest that if that wasn't the case tomorrow, because as I say, Gio's very, very hard to read. You would automatically think, logic would say, he would start with Davis to get room into his legs, to get him fit, especially against PSV, because there's no way in this earth I can see PSV coming and sitting back and just trying to hit us in the break. They don't play that way, Ox. They play the typical Dutch style. They play slow build-up, but they'll definitely have a bit of a go when they get the chance. So for me, I would like to have seen him starting. But it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest Gio started with the likes of Sands, because it's what he does, and he'll know everything there is to know, certainly on PSG. So whilst they'll be trying to put a team out tomorrow, obviously, to get 3 points, make no mistake about it, he's already said it. He said it in his last two pressers. He definitely wants into that group stage. So I think he's really hard to read now, mate. I don't think any of us have picked his team bang on since the start of the season. I know we've only played a couple, but he's very difficult to read.
But Big Stevie's got it right twice. Big Stevie's got it right twice, as he keeps reminding Southside, who's not got it right at all. Right, but,
you know, he's very hard to read, Ox.
I get that, mate. I get that. I mean, I would play Ben Davis and young Red Van tomorrow. What about you, GB?
Aye, Ox. I would just Davis definitely. Red Van, possibly just because of the way St Johnstone are going to sit in. I think Bormer in the kind of European stage is more suited for him because there's more time in the ball for him. Whereas I think, like in the league, sometimes the players are on top of him before they know it. But Red Van would be perfect. I think the more, like I say, is watching him in the training video the other day. Boy's got a lot of pace, and I think we're going to need that. And just to touch on Cholak up front, I think it's perfect for St Johnstone. It's got to be a bit of rough and tumble in amongst there. So the big guy's got that kind of physical presence about him, and I think he's ideal for this game. The more to score a couple.
Oh, I like that. Port Bear. I suppose it's a good thing if he's utilised in the squad. I still think it's slightly different. I still think performance gets you you'll get the jersey back quicker rather than any day in training. I get that you'll be observed in training, but I think if you're scoring goals or playing well, ultimately you get back the team at the right time.
Indeed, mate, that's how I said it's Joe Lack's jersey to win in regards to him. And they said it's just simply for me in regards to Ridvan and Davies. It's 10 million worth of players that we paid to improve the squad. They have to play next year. They have to play. It's as simple as that. And it's no time for sentiment with Borna and things like that, mate. The left side of their defence, especially centrally, is up for grabs because Sand's done very well, as Gary touched on earlier on, being the utility man that sat in there and done a decent job since the start of the season. But we want to see our left-sided defender, who we paid £4 million for, alongside Goldson. And we want to see our wee flying wing-back Ridvan outside him, mate. That's a personal opinion with me. But remember, it's a squad game. Obviously, we've got a big long season ahead with 3 domestic trophies, and we've got, the glamour of beating. If we beat PSV and go to that glamour, group stages of the Champions League, the biggest European tournament, biggest world football tournament, in the world, in my opinion. And we want to be there because that's what we deserve to be.
This is a dilemma, Blue Star, isn't it? Do you play for momentum or do you protect people because it is a long, hard season? You want them fresh for Tuesday. It's only hindsight. It proves you right, isn't it?
Absolutely, Ox, and that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. I heard a couple of the guys saying there, it was a bit mixed between performance and training. Oh no, it's not. Any manager worth his salt tells you straight it's on performance. But in this situation, there is a bit of in between because there's I've even seen social media now, Ox, it's absolutely rife with Egypt, and I will say it's Egypt. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but any Rangers fan now that doesn't think Gio is getting pummeled and off his own back for his own prestige that he doesn't want into the Champions League is absolutely kidding herself on if his sole focus is on the league. Oh no, it's not. His sole focus right now at this moment in time is on that Champions League qualification, i.e. because it's only 2 more games. The rest of the league takes care of itself. So if it was solely on performance, then obviously MD that played brilliant the other night, they're automatically playing tomorrow. That's not the case. We all know it's not. And it hasn't been the case. So he has got a bit of jiggery pokery that he's got today. And as you said, is it a case of, well, if you're playing no bad, you keep playing so you're getting 100% fit? He can't do that, Ox, because he's got better players in his eyes that aren't up to 100% fitness yet. So therefore, he's got to play the kind of happy medium and just try and get him minutes when he can. I mean, for instance, if he played Alfie for 90 minutes tomorrow, does that automatically make him fit for Tuesday night? Oh no, it doesn't. You can MD worth their salt can see the guy's been out for half a year, so another 90 minutes isn't going to get him right up to speed. But I would say, and I'm agreeing with you, I think we all would, the guy Davis would make far more sense simply because it would bring a far better balance to our defence, i.e. he's left-footed and we need a left-sided centre-half. So I would expect him to start tomorrow. But as I say, if he didn't, it wouldn't surprise me, Ox.
No, I know. The only thing I'm certain of tomorrow with the team, right? The only thing I'm certain to tomorrow with the team is that Goldson and Tab will start. There you go, Jim. Jim.
Yeah, you're probably right. The amount of times we've talked about the team lineups for the following day and how many times have been right and how many times have been wrong. We know the situation. We know the situation. But I agree with Report Bear and a lot of things that he said, and also with the last caller that came in and mentioned about Davis. I think, we do. We need to see somebody that we've paid money for. We need to see him, and we're all a bit surprised that he's not made a start yet. But at the end of the day, Gio picks the team, and if he don't think he's ready, then he's not ready. Doesn't matter what we say about it. If Ben Davis isn't ready to take up that position, then he's not ready. So it'd be nice to see him start tomorrow if he's in his full faculties that Gio wants to see, and he knows the drill, and he's fully up to date with what is required. Yes, that's fine. But whatever Gio wants to do, he's doing it for a reason. He's doing it because he's looking at the future of the club. He's looking at the future games, and he's looking at what he can do to progress the team. And whatever team he picks is because of what he has seen in training and performance. And those both things are important to picking a team. There's no point in picking somebody who hasn't performed in the last game or hasn't trained as well in the last period. So he will pick the team, and we will sit there and we will applaud it.
Aye. Right, before we go to the tune, Port Bear, I'll give you what my team would be tomorrow, yeah?
This will be fun.
Yeah, fire away, mate. Fire away.
Alright, okay, so I would keep with McLaughlin in goal. Yeah, because if that's the way you're going, that the continuity, the relationships built. Tavernier, Goldson, Ben Davies, Young, Ridvan. I would go with... I would take Lundstrom out and protect him for Tuesday. Yeah. And I would bring back Stephen Davis. And beside Stephen Davis, I would have Tom Lawrence and Tillerman. I would have I'm going for Ryan Kent to at least a half, with Matondo on the right. Scott Wright could mix and match with they two if you felt like it, and Cholok up front to start. I'm going with the exact same shape as we went on Tuesday night, and I think it's something we should do more often at Ibrox against these teams. I don't believe we need two sitters. What? Just quickly.
No, that's been one of my biggest bugbears with the two sitters here at Ibrox. I don't think we need it. I really don't. Knowing they're so deep, and at times you actually see Goldson stepping up for the back, mate, and he's in sometimes 20 yards, 30 yards for the opposing box because we're trying to squeeze him in so tight. So no, I agree with you totally, mate. I like the idea of having Lawrence, Tillman, Matondo and Kent for pace. Tillman and Lawrence, because they can open up defences with their slick passing and also get an eye for goal with their shots. And Cholak was beavering away, mate, in between and try to break them lines and get into space. So no, I'm happy with that team, mate. I would be happy with that team.
Just my thinking. Anyway, lads, if you don't mind, get yourself on mute. We're going to have a tune.
you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. A wee toe tapper. Right, okay. Port Bear. All right. I maybe went against the grain and we've not done it often at Ibrox, but that's my thinking. And I would look to get the players, play at a fast tempo. The manager for the Belgium team said he'd never seen a tempo like it. Sometimes we don't appreciate it, do we?
No, but it's when we play at that pace and tempo, as Gary will witness for the other night, mate, it was incredible. Again, the high press, the passing was quick, we were snapping into the challenges. We weren't giving their midfield or their wing backs a chance to get involved in the game because we went and we really pressed them. You know, Malik Tillman didn't know he had that in his game, mate. Even he was doing it. They were all working as a unit, hunting in packs, retaining the ball quickly, and that's when Rangers play at their best. The Ibrox against Scottish teams, mate, we can just, as you say, we can go with five, all them five attacking minded forward players when they're sitting in so deep. And we've got all different types here. We've got pace, we've got creativity, we've got Lawrence who can bang them, you know, for distance, goal wise. Even John Lindstrom can bang them for distance, mate. And we've got two flying wing backs, James Tavernier, Captain Marvel, who gets involved with assists and goals. And Ridvan, I think, is going to be in the same mould, having watched a wee bit of him now, mate. So I'm interested, mate. That formation really gets me going. And if we play the way we played against Union on Tuesday night, we'll do very well tomorrow, mate.
Port Bear, Bridgeman.
I like your team, and I agree with what Port Bear was saying there. It's not necessarily an experiment, but obviously slightly trial and error. But the manager, I'm sure he's going to do this. He's got to be able to select players that may not appear in the European area unless we get a lot of injuries. But they've got to hold the fort on the home front. So we're playing the league games. Plus the fact that it gives the guys a chance. Like you mentioned that. It was man of the, I thought he was man of the match. Tom, what's his name? Tom
Tillman.
No, the other Tom was.
Oh, Tom Lawrence.
Yeah, you mentioned him. I think
Just
he's a
think of the
smashing
first
player.
book you ever bought, yeah?
No. That's a good point. No, I think that Tom Lawrence needs to get more games under his belt, I think. But, you know, he's a quality player. But he's one of the guys that you maybe don't want to play the full 90 tomorrow.
No,
but you
I'm
want
not saying that. I'm saying let's go start really fast, and you've got 5 substitutes now. Blue Star.
Yes, indeed. I'm saying that. Yeah. Obviously, the manager's going to manage it all. Obviously, him and the coaching staff, they'll know what they're doing. The team that they put out need to replicate what they've done against Kilmarnock, and that's for sure.
Well, let's go and play at a tempo, Blue Star, and let's see where it takes us.
Ox, you know yourself, I've said it after every game so far, the main disappointment for me, if there's been one, is how all 3 games so far we've started off, for me, mega slow. Granted, Tuesday night there, they came out and they done the business in the second half, absolutely they did. The penalty changed it all. But exactly the same as yourself, that carry on.
Started slow on Tuesday night, mate.
But we were still well after pace, Ox. We were. Compared to the second half, it was night and day. What I would say is, I agree with your point on the 2 sitting midfielders. Now, none of us, unless we Davidson done something that would be totally extraordinary tomorrow, there's no way they're coming out to cover right go. It's just not going to happen. They're going to sit in. Therefore, there's no way in this earth we need 2 sitting holding midfielders. So I agree with you on that one. He could certainly rest Lindstrom and stick wee Davis in there. And like Bridge says there, if we started off with the pace as you're saying, it would then let him take after the likes of Kent, take after the likes of Tillman, and rest the guys so that they are 100%. Even you could even rest Davis, let's be honest, if he started well. If they can get a couple of goals up in the first half. But Ox, without a doubt, I'd love to see us starting off with a high tempo tomorrow at Ibrox. I really would. And let it get into their systems that's how we've got to start off on Tuesday as well. Go right at PSV. But as I say, what we think and what Gio does is totally two different things. He might just go along the lines of playing the exact same way as what he's intending to do on Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? And whether that's fast tempo for the start, I really don't know. But I'd love to see it your way. I would.
GB.
Ox, Tuesday night for me is the way I want to see Rangers play right for the get-go. I want to see attacking football, and like I say, I've been craving it since I watched them in the pre-season game against West Ham. I really hope the team tomorrow is much like what you said. The only thing I would probably say about midfield, I think it's got to be probably Lundstrom, Davis and Lawrence in the midfield for me, and then you've got to have Tillman out on the right, Cholak and Kent up front. And then obviously as the game goes on, hopefully we tie it up pretty quickly and then we can get the subs on. And then the manager will still have his team to pick for the PSV game. But it's fast tempo for me is the way to go.
Okay. Right, okay, we're going to just change the subject quickly. He's been on a roll. And we're going to hear from Southside.
Hi, welcome to Southside Super 6 for Saturday the 13th of August. My first selection this week is Arsenal to beat Leicester City. My second selection is Sheffield Wednesday to beat Charlton Athletic. My third selection is Accrington Stanley to beat Burton Albion. My fourth selection is Dunfermline to beat Montrose. My fifth selection is Clyde to beat Kelty Hearts, and my sixth selection is Aberdeen to beat Motherwell. If you pick all six, it gives you odds of about 33.5 to 1. My Rangers bet for this Saturday is Cholak to score first, Rangers to win 2-0, and that pays 15 to 1.
He's on a roll, GB.
He's doing great. I tell you, I was just writing all that down the other now because that's got that. I'll put a wee bet on tomorrow.
He's on a roll, Jim.
I'm not a betting man, mate.
No, neither's he.
What I would say is that I agreed with everything beforehand regarding the setup, the teams, and I thought, Oxjer, your assessment of who possibly may play tomorrow. If we're going to play with, I'd like to see Ben. I'd like to see all the new players getting a game tomorrow. I'd like to see Yilmaz. I'd like to see Ben Davis. Obviously, the other lads that have played before. I'd like to see them all playing in the team so that they get minutes playing for Rangers. But if they're going to be doing the usual sort of crossing balls in from the wings and all that, then I'd like to see them aim them for Tillman.
Yeah.
If he doesn't jump what a basketball player every game, then we'll be disappointed, won't we?
The guy's a salmon. He's a salmon. What a goal he scored. My God. How do you beat a keeper from there? I've never seen it before. That header was fantastic. The amount of times I've seen Rangers cross balls into the box from corners, and Conor Goldson rises, and 9 times out of 10, it just doesn't go in. But when somebody leaps like that in that position and scores a goal, you have to be saying to yourself, they must aim for him if they want a header to go in.
He's a big unit. He's a big unit, Jim. I'm surprised how obviously he's broad and he looks 6 foot plus. Yeah.
What height is he?
I think he's about 6'1", mate.
Aye. Cool. Didn't realise he was that tall, you know. He's nearly as tall as me.
Aye, and me.
That's what his girlfriend said.
No, Oxford, I think that we've got we're starting to build a team now, and it's nice to speak about who we would like to see and who we would like to play, but at the end of the day, we're not watching what's going on. We're not behind the scenes either. You know, we might get rumours, we might hear this, hear that, injuries, God knows what else. But I think I always say this, you know, Bassonis, Walter, Gio, and before that, Gerrard, we trust in what they want to do. And listen, we all make mistakes. You know, we all make mistakes. But at the end of the day, I think Gio is somebody that we should trust implicitly. And if he makes a mistake, he'll be the first one to come out and say, I've made a mistake here, you know. Unfortunately, that's not happened yet.
Aye, good shout, Jim. Good shout. Listen, the team could also be Portbert. It could also be McGregor, Tavernier, Golson, Suter, Barisic, Ryan Jack, Glenn Kamara, Tom Lawrence, Scott Wright, Alfredo. Oh, no, sorry. Scotty Arfield, Alfredo, and Ryan Kent.
I know, mate. Aye. In squad terms, mate, there's good quality and depth there. There is. I wouldn't like to play poker with Gaffer, mate, because none of us, you know, we struggle to predict, you know, what he's going to do next. And then what also throw into that with Gio is, I mean, this is a young squad he's building as well. He's building a relatively, whatever he's bought is pretty young, you know, got a lot of years in front of him in footballing terms. I'm just excited with Gaffer, mate. I know he's not got the same aura as Steven Gerrard, and I think maybe sometimes when Stevie Gerrard walks into a dressing room, mate, and he's got that aura about him, that can sometimes affect players, mate, you know, because you think, that's Steven Gerrard in front of me, I need to perform, I need to do this. Whereas I don't think, I'm not dissing my manager, mate, I just don't think the same aura. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's not at all. But you get what I mean? There's less pressure, I think, from Gio in terms of his stature and who he is in world football.
Wow,
so I think the players are more relaxed.
Bold statement you make. I know Gerrard's a global icon. Does Giovanni's career no match up with him? Post champions with Rangers, champions with Arsenal, champions with Barcelona, European Cup winners with Barcelona, World Cup runners up as captain with Holland. It certainly matches Stevie G's career,
Well, for me, it surpasses for the simple reason he won the Champions League in different countries. He played with Holland, and he was also the Dutch captain in a World Cup final. Certainly, Stevie G. Let's not kid ourselves. The guy was a cracking player, but in the same breath, so was Gio. Gio did it in different countries. Stevie G didn't. So there's loads of ifs and buts, but career-wise, oh no, you can't say Stevie had a better career than Gio. Not a chance. For me, Ox, your second team there, that's how I'm saying it, is kind of horses for courses to a certain extent. There's going to be games if he thinks it's rough and tumble, and then he's got to play a kind of a bit of silky football, because let's be honest, PSV don't play. They play hard, but they're a good passing team. They always have been. So that's Gio's domain. That's what he is. He's a Dutchman, so he'll know them back to front. Therefore, it'll be a big telling point tomorrow just exactly who he does start with. But as you say, he could start with most of these Scots guys and play them against St Johnstone and try and rest the likes of Kent, because let's not forget, Kent was out there for a wee while after picking up a badging, and he only just got back for the European game because it was touch and go with him. So I mean, you would have to say the likes, if he's going to play Tillman, Lawrence, Kent, Davis, and the wee guy at left back, they would definitely need some kind of part tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. If he's intending to play any of them, which we all think he will, against PSV, then they have to get minutes in their legs tomorrow. That's a gimme. Yeah. But whether it's a start and we go a couple of goals up, you would think probably that would be the case.
Yeah. I think it's important, GP, that we use 14, maybe even 15 players tomorrow. Sorry, 15, maybe even 16 players tomorrow, yeah?
Aye, Oxen, I mean, Fashion's back in the squad and all that as well, and it's... again, St Johnstone are no mugs turning up here. They're a very experienced side in the SPFL, you mean, and we're talking about putting new boys into the team and stuff like that. We're going to have that experience in amongst the squad. It's all right putting
who's the new boys? Who's the new boys?
Like say Tillman, Davies, Ridvan, Rabi to a certain extent. Cholak I don't really worry too much about. I think he's kind of built for that kind of fitba. I think he loves being in the box and getting in amongst it. But the likes of him to Tillman and stuff like that, I don't think they're used to seeing teams week in, week out sitting behind the ball. Whereas, like say, to be fair, Scott Wright and all that, they've experienced all that, so they can probably handle the occasion. Whereas I wouldn't want Ridvan up against a Stevie May. You know, like Stevie May and Jamie Murphy and stuff like that. They are kind of tricky players if they get the breakaway.
They'll never be close to him in the game. They'll never. Their paths would be okay to cross in the game. Port Bear. Where they would play, where Jamie Murphy would play, and where Ridvan would play. They wouldn't be near it. I would be surprised if they two played at the same time for St Johnstone at the start tomorrow. What? Give us.
The Canadian, the boy Theo, the Canadian boy international, he'll play up front, and you'll either have Stevie May or Jamie Murphy. Probably more likely to be Stevie May because of his work rate. And I think we're fullbacks, GB pushing so far forward. That's just a tracking job for whoever's playing in one of the wide positions for St Johnstone. They need to track Taver, they'll need to track Ridvan or Borna, whoever it may be, and that's a hell of a job today, going back the way when you kind of get a chance to get forward. But I understand what you mean. You want to see experience in the team because St Johnstone, previous cup winners, double cup winners, should I say? But I can only see one result tomorrow. I can see a strong 3-0 win. Nothing to worry about tomorrow. I really don't think so. I think the Union game for me is a big turning point.
What are you worried about?
That's it. I know he shouldn't be worried, especially if the performance the other night. But it's just you know what St Johnstone have been YRA teams for us away for him and at him, and sometimes just been a right dogged team to play against, and that, like I say, is a pop up with the name Stevie May. And by the way, Jamie Murphy looked all right the other week. They're playing against Motherwell. He took his goal really well and stuff. I just don't want us. There was times in the game on Tuesday night where we're a wee bit slack, and all it takes is for one of them to have their moment in the sun and they bang it away. I mean, it just makes our day harder, which I don't predict, but I still think we need to be switched on and we still need to have a bit of experience.
Upside down, Blue Star. Turn that frown upside down and let's go out and win the game, Blue Star.
How many games have we lost at Ibrox over the last couple of years? End of story. If we play, we win. It's as simple as that. And sometimes, let's be truthful, we haven't been playing that great, but we're still winning games, and that's one of the things I've had to give Gio respect for, because there's been games where I didn't think we played that great. But be fair to the guy, he's got his results, and at the end of the day, as you keep saying, it's the results that count, and it is. But he's got a squad of players there.
We'd like to see a performance. I mean, I wasn't happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ox. And that was the only thing I was a bit critical for in the last couple of games. I thought we started off really, really slow. I maintain that when we're zipping that ball about, especially when teams are sitting in, when we're zipping that ball about fast, that's what foxes at the opposition. And I know that's what he's aiming for. It's just it takes a bit of time when you're bringing in new players with different setups. Of course it does. Yeah. I.e., the wee guy Tillman, Ox, when he was out in the right wing, it didn't work for him. It did not work at one iota. The wee guy never done anything until he started coming inside. So to start him off in the right wing, if that is his position, then for me, he seems to be better when he's playing more inside. So does that mean he starts for the likes of right? You just don't know, mate. You don't know what he's thinking will be until you see the team.
No.
I'll sign off, guys. I need to say to my mother, and keep up the good work. Great show. And I'm always listening.
And you come, Bridge. I was just coming to you, mate.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
No, and you come, mate. Not a problem. I hadn't forgot about you, mate. Never.
Blue Star was saying there about Tillman. I think that guy had quite a good game. He scored his goal. But there was a wee section, it looked like just before half time, it looked like his legs were gone. I think we said about this. I would have taken him off at half time, you know.
Me too. Me too.
And the guy came out and he's played a lot better. But all the guys improved. They've improved no end. And we get our second goal. First goal before half time, then the second goal, and then a bit of relaxation and their game, confidence growing and so on and so forth. And it was wonderful. And I think we need to do something like that tomorrow. As long as they don't play number 29, we'll be all right.
I think he's a thing of the past, slowly but surely.
I hope so.
Don't let it live in your head, Bridge. Let it go. Jim, it's quite funny that Glenn Kamara, Ryan Jack, we've not really discussed them tonight on the show. It's funny, isn't it?
It's not funny.
No, how things have changed, mate. How things have changed quite quickly, you know?
Yes, aye. Well, the situation is that the team moves forward and we bring in new players. We have to play them. We have to see how they play. But those two players are stalwarts for Rangers. And if he plays them tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised. The situation is that when you've got a big squad, you've got to give players time on the ball. You've got to give them minutes in the legs. And you expect these players to turn up and play, maybe say 2 games or 3 games later, and still put a performance in, you know. And that's difficult, you know. The more time you get minutes in games, then the more confidence you get in the ball, and the more confidence you get that the manager wants you. And that's all about making yourself hard to be replaced by somebody else. The 2 players you mentioned have never, ever let us down. Oh. Those two players have been excellent for us. But we move on, you know. And if we need somebody in them positions, we can play them, or we can put them on as substitutes. We can always have those players, and that is the beautiful thing about the team. I would say that basically we need to ensure that people get minutes in the legs. And I think an important thing about getting minutes in the legs, I think Morelos needs to get minutes in his legs. I wouldn't start him, but I would bring him on. We maybe say about 20 minutes to go, and do that for the next couple of weeks until he gets up to speed, until he's ready to be a first choice. As far as Lawrence and Tillman go, you're talking about 2 new players who are excellent players, and they are trying to get up to speed with the likes of Davis and Jack. And once they do, then that makes us even stronger. So,
yeah. Well said, mate. Well said.
I'm interested in our best team on a particular day. And
all right,
Gio,
I'll bring
Gio
Porter
makes their decisions.
I'll bring Porter in to see what he's got to say. Porter.
Aye, I agree with a lot of Jim says there, Oxchair. I think, you know, looking forwards, if you think, you know, Malik Tillman and Tom Lawrence, players like them, Ravi Matondo, Jolak, they're not still now, they're probably sitting even at 80% now, mate. You know, 75-80% fitness. These guys will not be up to speed, in my opinion, for 2 weeks yet. and I think we've yet to see the best of Tillman, Lawrence, when they're fully fit, fully firing, and full of running power, mate. And then you add to the 5 or 6 substitutes you can make. So I think you keep mentioning it. We should be using this tactically next year. Like the rest of the teams seem to do, and you look at our strong bench: Jack, Kamara, Morelos, who we're not, as you say, we've not really mentioned much tonight, and they're not been in my squad for the first few early games of the season. It just excites me, mate, and makes me really, really excited for the full season, because once we get minutes in these guys' legs and not got up to speed in fitness terms, match fitness, this team will be flying next year. I'm really, really excited for this team.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, they're showing potential. Anyway, we're in the last half hour of the show, so let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, GB. I couldn't agree more. Right.
Yeah, well said, Port.
So we have to 3 points. Every 3 points is important, and I get your point. You're showing your nerves there, GB. You're concerned. You don't want any hiccups. But I think this team is slowly going to show that they've got goals in them, which we've not seen, let's say, through the first 4 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know the biggest thing I noticed the other night there, Ox, was see when Lundstrom and Lawrence was on the park, and Tillman to a certain extent when he moved inside, was see the shots from outside the box. Like, I love us hitting a shot from outside the box. I'm so glad we've got players in that team now that can actually take a shot from outside the box rather than make the choice all the time of going down the left and down the right. And yeah, it does work for us because Big Bonner fired in 2 assists. That for doing that kind of play. But I mean, Lawrence's shot at the game the other night, and then Lundstrom very unlucky in the second half as well, not to put that one away. It's good to have the kind of options in your team, and like you says, that will just come with goal socks. I mean, because these boys are very, very talented.
Aye. One thing I will say is that has stuck in my mind a wee bit, Bridge, is if we open play, we've not scored in the first half this season yet.
Yeah, it seems to take us quite a wee while just to get ourselves round the ball, as I say. Plenty of activity and some slick passing sometimes. But, I have to be honest and say the last 3 games we've played, it's been up against a brick wall. There are a lot of players sitting in their box or just on the edge of the box. And they were all playing with sort of tall centre-halves, big fellas who are strong and good headers of the ball and will put their body in the way and things like that. So these are the difficulties that Rangers have to overcome every week now, by the sound of particularly Ibrox. Shall we say, we fall down on that. We can't seem to break them down through open play as well as we can. We need to wait until they tire a wee bit, or we'll get a bit of luck on the ball. But that's the way it is with us. When you go to Ibrox and you can hear everybody saying things.
Rope-a-dope. Rope-a-dope.
That's exactly what it's like, pal. Yeah, you're right.
Aye. Rope-a-dope. I get it. I mean, I think we done that to that team in Tuesday night. Port Bear, they put that much effort into the first half. When it came to about an hour, it was rope-a-dope, wasn't it?
Aye, when you try to keep a team like Rangers out next year, you try to keep the team like that, and you're doing doggies, chasing. I tell you, it's more tiring when you've not got a ball next year. It's mentally draining, it's physically draining. But now you're doing chasing, you're a rabbit in headlight. You don't know what to do. You don't stick or twist, do a sit, or do we go and push onto them, do we squeeze them? They tried everything, mate. They tried everything the other night, but they just weren't good enough to put up with the Rangers' pressure and the style we were playing at. And that goes the same as Scottish League. Eventually, these teams do crack, and cracks start appearing through their defence and their midfield, because you just physically cannot run for 90 minutes and try and keep a team out next year. This is why the other teams, use their 14th, 15th player, get yellow cards even in the first, and then some the guys have been yellowed and stuff.
I think it suits the cluggers, the 5 substitutes, more than the ball players, if I'm being honest.
Of course it does. It does.
You can afford.
Let's say recharge our team.
4 players on a yellow card at half time, take them off, yeah?
Yep.
What about this
Let's him.
What about this for a rule change? If you make a substitute within an hour, you take that guy's card?
I suppose it would stop that, as I said, it's a physical violence side of the game, the negative football. It would stop that, mate. Of course it would stop that. Because the instance, you got it for the boy in the limit match.
I'm not saying I'm for it, but I'm just saying it's part of the game.
That's an idea. Yep.
If I was sitting in a dressing room, professional game, and I was 1-0 up, and I had 3 players on yellow cards, I'd be tempted to take the 3 of them off at half time now with 5 substitutes.
Of course you would, because you still got another 2 to go. You still got potential another 2 to use for injuries and again maybe re-energise the squad. Definitely, mate. It's becoming part of the game, and I think that's where Rangers would use it in a positive sense, where they get more attackers on, a more skillful player on. The teams in Scotland are using it so they can kick their players, get it booked, and then take that player off and get another player out and get another wee kick, and then he's got a yellow card. You've still got another chance. You know what I mean? So I don't like this. Obviously, I really don't. I don't like this yellow card situation. It really made me angry in the Livy game when the ref more or less told him, Livy manager, get him up before he gets sent off. I mean, if it was a friendly, I'd understand Oxy, but not in a league game.
That was a second yellow.
She should be sent off. Aye. Somebody's going to get hurt, mate. I always say somebody's going to get hurt, and that's what will happen. Rangers will suffer through injuries by getting kicked, lumps shooter, and it's happened. This happened to us. These guys keep getting.
I see in England, Port, they've changed the rule where when somebody's offside, they've now been told to get the flag up to try and prevent injury, yeah?
Aye, I don't like that either, the late flagging. I agree with that, mate. I have to agree with that. I don't see why players have to run another 40 yards through and go. And you see him sometimes put the ball in the net, and then the ref, the linesman, puts his flag up, and you're like, why did you not put it back away there? It's a stupid drill, mate. Stupid drill. Put it up right away. Offside's offside.
Yeah. Right. How's it going to go tomorrow then, Bridgeman?
Obviously, we've spoken about what we're hoping and we think should happen, and I'm going to go for a 2-3-0 tomorrow. No, that's the way I feel. I think that some really good players that now know where they want to go. But we need to go over this hurdle, a slight hurdle. Ibrox playing against these mighty guys and 9 of them in the box and things like that, So rather than just push high balls into the middle and they can header it out and all that nonsense, maybe come up with a bit more guile. So we need the players to do that. I think we'll get it. 2 or 3 tomorrow for me.
Wow, that's exotic football for Bridge, GB.
If it was away from home, it'd be 1-0.
Bridge, you've knocked me down with a feather, mate, with you saying that. But I totally understand it, mate. I think after the other night there, if we put out a team, as Oxo mentioned, that we're not got the 2 sitting holding midfielders, I think if we put out the team that was much the same as Tuesday night, attacking minded, I think we could get this job done for half time, hopefully. You know what I mean? And then we can start really using that bench and getting some more minutes into the team. So I'm going as well, like yourself, for a 3-0.
Okay. Jim?
Yeah, I think possibly a 3 or 4-0, but it will all depend on whether we go through the middle of the park with Tillman, lay it off to Cholak, rather than balls coming in wide from Tavernier and Barisic or Yeoman. I'd like to see Yeoman in there because I think he passes the ball more. I would like to see us coming through the middle more and more shots from outside the box from the likes of Lawrence. Ricochets are great for people to get like Cholak to get on the end of and things like that. So I'd rather see us going through the middle more. I think we're too predictable by going wide and crossing the balls in because about So I'd say about 7 times out of 10, we don't reach the people that we want to reach, and the balls are headed away. We need to retain the ball more by passing, and I think going through the middle, laying the ball back, and having shots on goal, ricochets if it comes, then we'll score more goals.
Poor Bear.
I think if you look at the second half, particular against Union year, I think if the guys analyse that game, and I'm sure Gio would have went through this for the team, I think that's probably what we're all looking for. And performance-wise, when it comes to the level of press, the way we're hunting in packs and retaining the ball, getting the ball back within that 6 seconds, that used to be the system under Gerrard, and I know the Man City group have that same ethos, the 6 seconds ball retention. I think if you look at that second half of the home, that's where we'd like to start the game and continue it. And when the players get up to speed, as in with full fitness, full match sharpness, that should happen over a longer period in a game. But if I was Gio, mate, I'd be saying the second half, look, that's where I want you to play. We want that for the start. So give us some of that second half performance for the full game, mate, and we won't go far wrong. The goals will come, like you're saying, more of. And I think 3 or 4 maybe, mate, if I'm honest.
I've been saying something that's maybe quite apt, really. It's going to be 27 degrees tomorrow. Will that affect the tempo of the game, GB?
No, for our boys, I don't think Hawks. Most of them are young, fit guys. You mean, around about my age and stuff like that. So they should be flying them more with the sun. When the sun's out, the gun's out, mate.
Young guys.
So I take it. Stephen Davis and Alan McGregor are playing tomorrow.
Hell no. No, I wouldn't mind V Davis in amongst there.
GB taps halfway there.
Mate, that's it. Swagger's everywhere, mate. Swagger's got that swagger out.
Dear oh dear, the mere thought, GB.
I can imagine you, Ox, especially in that sunny Copeland Road. You'll be loving it, mate. You'll be loving it.
That'll be one thing tomorrow, Bridge. You might struggle to see the game if the sun's shining right in your eyes in that end, innit?
He'll be Ray Bands on next year.
Oh, I forgot about that. He's away? Well, I don't know where he's away. Right, aye. Is it going to be a factor tomorrow, Port? Because that's going to be warm for a Scottish game, isn't it?
Aye, of course it'll be a factor next year. There's no doubt it'll be a factor. That's why you've got a big bench, a big squad.
What factor will you be wearing?
Duffel coat.
Sounds a bit up for you, boy.
Well, he get booked just to be surrounded back to 50.
Are you coming up tomorrow?
Dear. What's that?
Are you coming up to the game tomorrow? You? Or are you away on holiday? I heard the boys saying you were coming up tomorrow, sorry.
So we'll go tomorrow and we'll play at a tempo in the sunshine, Jim, with good players, guys that can score goals, guys that can make chances, and hopefully the gears we can get to between third and fourth gear. Would that be fair?
I would say that on a fair playing field, the sunshine affects all 11 players on each time. So it's there for both teams. I don't think it's going to affect us any more than it's going to affect the opposition. It's down to us to show what we're all about, and I believe we'll get a 3 or 4-0 victory. And I'd like to see Kolak getting a couple, and even Morelos getting a couple as well, or Tom Lawrence or Tillman, whatever. I just want us to get good playing skills, football, which the crowd enjoy, and they want to come back again.
Okay, all right.
Ox, what's your predictions for tomorrow, mate?
I'm going to go for 4-0. There you go.
Can I get your scorers?
Oh, I'm going to go with my big mucker Southside. Cholak's going to get the first 2, and then Lawrence is going to get a rasper into the Copeland Road stand, yeah? And Morelos is going to come on and get a tap in near the end.
Brilliant.
God, Septic Peg spoken.
No, Lawrence is the one that I can see adding goals to our team definitely over the season, mate.
I tell you, when he does score a goal, and I don't know what you think, Port, when he does hit one, the rigging, when he catches it, the rigging's going to go. It's going to be spectacular.
Aye, his technique, mate. Remember the one we spoke about this, the one that hit the bar against Kilmarnock. I'm sure it was. The technique on that, mate. That's incredible. That's extremely difficult to catch a ball when it's coming down and to keep it low. He's got great technique on his shot, mate. I reckon he would double figures. I said it before. He would double assist and double figures for me for Tom Lawrence this year.
Aye, he's slowly grown on me. He's grown on me, mate. I thought he had a good game on Tuesday. And obviously he's getting to know the surroundings and he's getting to know his own players, Jim.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think Tom Lawrence is the type of player who goes into tackles 100%, and that's why he doesn't get many injuries. He goes in 100%, and that's what you've got to do in that position. He's a type of person who is forward-thinking, and if he sees an opportunity, he will take it. And I think we will see a lot more from him in the coming months. He will score goals. I think we're doing well at the moment, and I think we've got a lot to look forward to in the future. There's some of the players that you may look at and say, well, slow starters. If you look at John Lundstrom was quite a slow starter, and now we're singing songs about him. You know what I mean? The fans love him, and I think that Lawrence is somebody else who has started a little bit quicker than Lundstrom, and he's only going to get better.
Aye, it looks that way. And he could become a fan's favourite. Obviously, if you start scoring goals, GB, you move up in the pecking order, don't you?
Move up in the pecking order, Ox, and you get more important games behind you, because Tom Lawrence said when he first joined that he's here to play in the top games, which will be Champions League, Europa League and stuff like that. And that the other night for him, I mean, coming for Derby and playing in a Champions League qualifier, he'll be the same as what Tillman was. So the two of them will be in awe after that game, realising that they've just got through like a Champions League qualifier. I mean, it's a pinnacle of their kind of profession, isn't it? Getting to play in the Champions League. So he'll be working very, very hard, because he knows that these probably opportunities don't come along too often.
He's an experienced pro, Port Bear, and I think sometimes we need a mixture in there. It's good to have boys, but sometimes you need experience as well. Eh?
I think guys like him and Davies in particular next year, both 26, 27, I think you get them just before, in my opinion, they get to the peak of their careers, and then obviously we'll have them hopefully during their peak when they reach the very top of their footballing level. So I think it's been two cracking signings to get, Lawrence for a free, Davis and a decent centre half. He was at Liverpool, done a lot of good games in the Championship as well. To get the guys of that calibre, mate, two players of that calibre for £4 million effectively, and both have quality. And I think the more they play with Rangers, mate, and they start understanding, Gio's blueprint and their teammates and surroundings, and their true settling in period, I think we'll have two cracking players in our hand, mate. In particular, I'm going to it's a forward-thinking player, Tom Lawrence. I just think he's going to bring so much in the matches where it's going to be tight. He's that sort of guy, that can make that difference, whether it be a goal or a nice pass. And I just look to the future, mate. I can't even wait to have Hadji back in the fold as well. He's got to come back as well, which I'm excited for that as well. I'm going to ask you a question, Ox, here. Fashion Sakala.
You're breaking up there. I've seen the look to you there, Port there.
He's an evil man. He's an evil man.
When you go, Port.
What do you think in Fashion Sakala, guys? Is he finished? Does Gio just not fancy him? I need to ask you because it's been a weird start.
What Gio does in his private life's got nothing to do with me, but I don't think Fashion Sakala has been treated well since the Europa League Europa League final, mate, if I'm being honest. Listen,
I agree, mate.
We all like Fashion Sakala. Whether we think he's good enough to play for our team is a different argument. And if there's a decent offer on the table and he wants to go with my best wishes, yeah. If the manager doesn't rate you, it's hard for you, Jim.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying, Ox. Yeah, it's down to what the manager wants. And Fashion Sakala, lovely man. I think he's a good Christian. He speaks highly in every interview he has about Rangers and his background, his family and where he comes from. He's a lovely guy. But at the end of the day, if somebody comes in and wants to spend 3 or 4 million to sign the lad, then I would say, yeah, go with my best wishes.
What are you thinking, Port, before Asperage and GB?
No, I'm with you, mate. Since the European game, I've just wondered where he fits in, and as I've watched him, he scored 12 goals in that last season, but more often than not, I certainly don't believe he's a striker. That plays to whether he can't play with his back to goal, and then I even struggle to watch him when does even know how to run the channels and stuff when he's been that number 9. But there's times when he's been on that left hand side, filling in for Kent and stuff, some cameo appearances where his chaos causes danger, if that makes sense. But I think Gio likes more rigid, players, as in what I mean by that, like a Ryan Kent who knows his role on the left hand side, that's where he plays. Tillman's a number 10, Lawrence a number 10, Matundo's a right sided. But Fashion fits no many of them, mate, and the wee man just causes chaos wherever he plays, I know that, but I just don't think they want to Gaffer trust him, mate. I think that's just a trust issue and maybe a wee issue in his quality, if I'm being totally honest.
Bridgeton, GB?
Yeah, I agree with Port there. Look, obviously the manager's has been watching him and wasn't happy with what he's seen. And I don't know what it was he was expecting, or maybe words have been exchanged, and that can cause, and maybe in private, but it can cause some problems. I think the fans were all asking the other day there, Saturday, Tuesday night, about Sakala. Why is he not in the plans anymore? And you can hear rumours, whatever rumours are obviously ever going to come true. But I would expect, in my honest opinion, if our manager can get someone to buy Sakala or take him off our hands, he'll go. That's what I believe.
Yep, just to add to that, guys, that Sakala, I mean, a fan's favourite, tries his heart out and stuff like that, but unfortunately he's been the victim of us investing into the team. The talent that's came in, when you look at the talent and you look at Fashion, I just don't think he's meeting that level that Gio's expecting. He's a great utility player, but the squad's too big. We've got the likes of Roof possibly coming back. We've got Scott Wright there. I mean, Scott Wright's starting to fade a bit in the squad as well now. He's becoming the kind of guy that's going to be coming off the bench. For me, I hope he does get a move, because it would be a shame for him just to be a guy that ends up getting a couple of games in the B team and he's just there to make up the numbers. He's a better player than that, and he will do a job for somebody. But unfortunately, our squad, I think, is just too strong now, and his position is well down the pecking order, unfortunately.
And I think the fans love him. I think they love Fashion the man, yeah.
Oh, definitely. I think it's just a quick evolution of your squad, mate, under Gio. I think he's been a victim of that when I think about it, sitting listening to what Gary and yourself says, the Bridgeman, Jim. I think it's just how quick your team's evolved since the European Cup final, mate. And he's been, a victim of that. And obviously, the quality level's risen, and he's just not met that standard, mate. I just think he's a victim of that.
All right, okay. Well, stranger things have happened. There's been stranger things happen. People have turned their careers around, haven't they? Jim, it's happened before, isn't it? Somebody gets in the team, they go on a run.
That's right. No, you're right, Ox, yeah. And it all depends how much minutes you get in your legs and how you impress the manager, the fans, the TV, how you perform. And I stand by what I said before. I like the guy. I really like him. I like the way he plays. But there are occasions where he just does not contribute to the final third as much as I would like to see him do. But at the end of the day, there's opportunities for him. And if he can move on for, say, 3 or 4 million, then I wish him good luck.
What did we pay for Sakala? Can you remember? What?
Is it 1.75?
If we did get the rumoured money, it's been kicked about, mate. That'd be a good bit of business, wouldn't it?
Aye,
yes.
Aye. I think it was Auxerre. It was rumoured to be looking at him, mate. If my memory serves me correct.
Burnley's the team I've heard.
Was it?
Looking at him.
Right.
But you never know in football, then you don't know what's true and what's not true. You don't know if it's his agent out there trying to get him a move, same things. You'll never know. It's a weird game at times, GB, innit?
It's not Socks because there's the other night there. He's back in the Champions League squad. He's on the bench, and yet all reports point to that he's out the door. Very strange. Again, we've talked about team selection tomorrow. It surprised me if the big man ends up starting on that left side. I'd be very, very surprised. But it's just his final finishing, Ox. Again, he just sometimes stumbles with the ball at his feet. And see, when you look at it, like say Ken, like you've mentioned there, the ball sticks to their feet. Again, Lawrence, Tillman, Cholak. It's Rabi. They've just got that kind of talent with them, and Fashion's always going to have to try and get that talent. Where these boys they've been born with it, probably. To be honest, I think Fashion's one of these guys that you need to try and develop and get him to where he needs to be.
I don't know if he's too old. If that makes sense, yeah. What is he? 26, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Aye. Don't get me wrong, we've got a new coach in, so like you say, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. Anyway, we've reached that time of evening. I'd like to thank Jim for joining us tonight. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, cheers, Jim.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah, I like a guy who leads the room, says Oxjair's struggling with A3 and come in and give me a hand. Thanks very much, Jim.
Brilliant.
GB.
Aye, great show tonight, Ox. Brilliant points. Was really fired up for the match tomorrow, and a big thanks to the Port Loyal team there, the wee fan club. That's a wee special mention.
The groupies.
The happies may like it. But thanks. Take care, lads.
Cheers, mate.
Port Bear.
Aye, mate. Cheers. Brilliant night. Great laugh. Gary, Bridgeman, Jim. Great conversation again, Oxjair. And hope for a good roaring victory tomorrow.
Yeah. Bridgeman.
Well, what can I say, Oxjair? Marvellous night. Great night. Well done to yourself and, of course, your backup techie team. And Gary and Port Bear for carrying me through this show. I really enjoyed it. I can just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Ranger fans on here on Rangers Radio, what a night has it been. Great stuff. What a day tomorrow. Massive game. Biggest game of the season, everybody. Biggest game of the season tomorrow. So everybody, do your thing. Go to Ibrox, do the thing again. And keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us, and so do they. Keep it going.
Okay, can I thank Blue Star and of course Jim from Surrey, I think now, Jim from Surrey, and of course Port Bear, GB and the one and only Bridgeman, Fox and Old School Blue for the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock with a pre-match show with Port Bear. We'll be joined pre-match with a celebrity caller, and after the match with the celebrity caller and Juicy Bear. Thanks for listening. Speak to you soon. Take it away, Old School Blue.
How many years ago, my boys, I left the Glasgow town. I followed the pull of the Yankee land and here I've settled down. Although I meant for Bridgeton Cross and my friends so near and dear, but I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb about your Broadway lights so clear. But it would fill my heart with sadness, it would fill my heart with cheer if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. For the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean that's quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can buck of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bum about your Broadway life so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer. And we only had the Rangers over here. And I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. For the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean that's quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bum about your Broadway life so clear. But it would fill my heart with sadness, it would fill my heart with cheer. And we only had the Rangers over here. And we only had the Rangers over here. And we only had the Rangers over here.